I was asked to talk about how to file 2021 individual income tax return Form 1040. So I'm going to break that down into a couple sections. Today, we're going to talk about everything you need to know about when to file your 2021 income tax return. So the IRS deadline to file your tax return is earlier than last year. The deadline for 2021 income tax return is actually on Monday, April 18, 2022. That is because April 15 is recognized as a holiday in Washington, D.C. According to the IRS, by law, Washington, D.C. holiday impact tax deadlines for everyone in the same way federal holidays do. So we got a couple more days this year. So what if you don't have enough time to prepare information and submit the return in April? You can always extend it. Every year, I have a lot of people coming to my office and sit there and waiting for their tax return to be prepared by April 15. And most of them, they don't even owe tax. So in that case, they don't have to. They don't have to waste their time and wait in line to file their tax return. They can always extend it. Even though you owe tax, you can still extend it. But you can extend the filing, you cannot extend the tax. How to file extension? Submit a form 4868. So I have an example right here. 4868 is just a voucher. So it's called Application for Automatic Extension of Time to File U.S. Individual Income Tax Return. And be careful right here. So 4868 is extension of time to file. It's not extension of time to pay. So if by April 18, you know that you owe tax, you will owe tax, then you need to make the payment by that day. So let's talk about how to fill out this form. It's very simple. Put in your name, your address, your social security number, your spouse social security number if you guys are going to file as a married couple filing jointly. Line 4, put in the total estimated tax liability, meaning that use your estimated taxable income times the estimated tax rate, which is going to apply to you, minus the total tax payment you make quarterly as estimated tax or the amount withheld on your tax form, such as W-2 or in some case 1099. So that is the payment if there's an amount right here is a balance due with the extension. So that amount need to be paid by the time you file your extension and no later than the original due date, April 18. Line 8 right here, you check this box if you're out of the U.S. You're the U.S. person and a citizen or resident, but you live overseas. In that case, you have your original due date is going to be June 15, not April 18. How to submit this 4868? You can submit that online or you can file a paper form 4868. The payment though, you pay electronically. You can go to irs.gov and search for online payment. So you will get to the link and use your bank account or credit card to make the payment. And if you use credit card to make a payment, there's going to be a fee, like 1% or 2% something for the credit card fee. So if you file the paper form, if you owe tax, you're going to file the 4868 to the following address. Depends on where you live in. If you live in Texas and you're making a payment with the form, you're going to send to this P.O. box. And if you don't have a payment, then you send to Austin, Texas. Now, we talk about federal due date is April 18. What about state? So out of the 41 states who collect income tax, most of them have the same due date as federal. Except for a couple states, they have their own due dates, such as Iowa and also Delaware. They have a due date as April 30th. And Virginia have a due date on May 1st, and Louisiana is May 15th. So double check with your state tax authority on the due date. But if you file it as of April 18, then you won't be late. And most of the state honor the extension from federal if you don't owe state tax. So how do you prepare for the tax filing? In general, 3-step: collect information, and then select a method of filing, and then file the tax return. Collect information, we have a list right here. So what information do you collect? Here's a general list. Most of the people will have a couple items on this list. W-2 is for wages. If you're employed and at the end of the year or early 2022, this month, you should receive a W-2. So if you have retirement account and you contribute or distribute it into that account during the year, you will receive a 1099-R statement. And 1099-INC is for interest. So if your bank pay you $10 or more interest income during the year, they will issue a 1099 and report the amount to the IRS and also send you a copy. So 1099 dividend is when you have investment in security and or investment into a company, then you may receive dividend income. 1099 miscellaneous is for rental income and other income. So if you're a landlord and you have management company handle the property for you, so at the early 2022, some cases, a very rare case at the end of 2021, you will receive a 1099 miscellaneous showing that how much rental income was paid to you. So other common 1099 form is 1099 NEC, is a self-employed people, independent contractor. If they receive payment for $600 or more, they likely receive a Form 1099 NEC. So for those investors who invest in stock market through a brokerage firm such as Fidelity, E-Trade, Robinhood, and others, they will send you an annual brokerage statement. On the brokerage statement, you can see how much interest income you receive, dividend income you receive in a year, and if you have stock sale and acquisition, then it will show the detail in the 1099B section. When you look at the 1099B, be careful and check on the stock basis. Sometimes they don't disclose the stock basis, and some of the taxpayer, without knowing that, they may overpay tax on capital gain because of missing the basis. So if you own a house, you will receive 1098 mortgage interest statement. So showing you that how much mortgage interest you have paid in a year. So mortgage interest does not equal to the total payment you make to the mortgage company, because that payment include principal and portion of mortgage interest. If you have student in your family, a college student, they will receive a 1098-T that shows the total tuition they pay during the year, which they may qualify for educational credit. Schedule K1, if you have investment into a S corporation, LLC, partnership, so you will receive as K1 that contains your share of income and expenses in the pass-through entity. Those income and expenses will be included in your tax return Schedule E. Closing disclosure. So if you sell a house, you will have a closing statement from the escrow company. That statement is actually very important because it lists all the selling expenses and the proceeds for the sale, and you should collect that. So the next one is the 1095. 1095 is a statement for health insurance. So it may be important for certain state reporting if a state mandates for health insurance. Form 8886 is the reportable transaction, which have to disclose to the IRS and all other information. So those are the general information we mostly see in tax filing. Now, where can you file it for free? IRS Free File is a partnership between the IRS and leading tax software company. Will launch on January 14. The program allows taxpayers who make $72,000 or less in 2021 to file electronically for free using software provided by participating providers. So right here, we can open a section to talk about that quickly. IRS free filing. So, but there is a requirement for how much you make in order for you to be able to use this free file services. So other than that, you can pay a minimum fee, a certain fee. No, I'm not going to say minimum, but a reasonable amount of fee to H&R Block, Vita, TaxAct, eFile, TaxSlayer, cash application taxes. And for 2021 is a tricky year because it doesn't mean everything else is back to normal, though for many, tax return will be more complex because of a job or residency changes, stimulus payments, child tax credits, unemployment insurance claim, or other COVID-related factors. It can make your tax return more complicated. So in that case, you can also always go to a CPA firm and consult with a tax advisor. So in conclusion for this section, we talk about a due date. Normally it's April 15, but for 2021 tax return will be April 18, 2022. You can file an extension to extend the time to file, but not the tax payment. So you can extend it the due date to October 17 this year. October 15 is in general. If 15 fall into a weekday and not a holiday, then it's going to be 15. So once you prepare the return, you e-file it. And for people who make $72,000 or less, they can use the free e-file services provided by the IRS. So how do you prepare individual tax return? Today we'll talk about due date, extension, and also free e-files. So next time we're going to talk about a checklist on the item that you should consider in your tax return. And we also will have illustration to show everyone how to use the free services or how to fill the form and how to review a individual tax return prepared by other people. So hang in there. And if you need a question, please let us know. Please don't forget to consult your tax advisors on the income reported or tax deduction you should be taking. Thank you.